So today we're talking about witchcraft in New Mexico. So since it's October, the month of Halloween, this month I've been doing videos about haunted places and ghost stories in New Mexico. I've been kind of going into the occult. While this week I did a special study about witchcraft in New Mexico just for you guys. This is what I found out. First of all, witchcraft is a magical worldview sought to explain and control the universe by using religion, superstition, some elements of science, and psychology. And these systems often overlapped. Now this definition for witchcraft, I want to let you guys know I got from the state historian Robert Martinez, and I think his definition describes it best. Okay, let me explain a little bit of history so I could put this in context for you. So in Spain, the land of Spain, their ancestors were the Iberians. So Spain used to be Iberia, and Iberian people had their own beliefs. Then the Romans brought their beliefs and their gods to Spain when they conquered Spain. And in the 400s, the Visigoths, who conquered the Romans, brought their beliefs. So all their ideas and religions kind of blended together. Then in the 700s, the Moors came to Spain. These were people from northern Africa and they were Muslims. So now they brought the Muslim religion into Spain. So all these different ideas and religious practices all came together. They also had the ideas from the Eastern Mediterraneans. The Arabs wrote books such as Arts and Sciences, Divination. They had books of the occult circulating throughout Spain written by Arab authors. They also had books of astrology written by Arab authors. So witchcraft is a composite phenomenon. Composite phenomenon just means it's made up from several different elements. So witchcraft is a composite phenomenon drawing from folklore, sorcery, demonology, heresy, and Christian theology. When the Roman Catholic Church came into power, they pretty much ruled the world. And any pre-Christian religions and their practices pretty much became defined as witchcraft. Okay, so the Roman Catholic Church was in power at the time. So when the Spaniards came, they were under the Roman Catholic religion. So when they came and colonized and conquered New Mexico, the Native Americans' religions and their religious practices were believed to be witchcraft, if that makes sense. Anything that wasn't Catholic was considered witchcraft, because at the heart of witchcraft is a pact with the devil. Then came the Spanish Inquisition. So in Spain, Queen Isabel started kicking out anybody that wasn't Catholic. They were persecuting the Jews and the Muslims, and they weren't letting them be allowed in Spain anymore. While the same thing was happening over here in New Mexico. Anybody non-Catholic was getting persecuted. Witchcraft was considered heresy, and anything apart from the Catholic Church was considered witchcraft. Heresy is religious expression outside of church teaching. For example, blasphemy, or renouncing Christ, or desecrating any kind of religious object. Well, Catholic object anyway. The Spaniards came to New Mexico. Not only did they bring all the beliefs of Spain, but they also brought the beliefs of Mesoamerica since they came from Mexico. They also brought Catholic Church law. Well, all of these blended with the Native American beliefs that were in the place already. So now New Mexico is just a melting pot of spiritual beliefs based on different kinds of folklores and legends. You had curanderas, which were healers. They would use herbs, spells, and they would heal people. People who had sicknesses would come to them and they would heal them. People who had a spell put on them would come to them and they would reverse the spell. Now, curanderas are real, trust me. I visited them a few times myself, but I just don't want to talk about that because it's family business. Anyway, even though curanderas were there to help people, to cure people, which is where the name is derived from, they were also considered witches, and they were persecuted and executed for being witches. There was also a lot of reports of wet nurses being accused as witches if the baby that they were taking care of happened to die while they were taking care of them. So there's a few documented incidents of witchcraft in New Mexico from the 1600s all the way till now. I'm going to read a few from the early days though, so check it out. There was a friar named Fray Alonso de Benavides, and he arrived in New Mexico in 1625. He was the head of the Franciscan Church and therefore the first agent of the Inquisition in New Mexico, so this guy wasn't bringing no love. He took many reports of witchcraft, sorcery, love spells, and magic from the citizens of New Mexico. Often the women were the ones being accused, or the Native Americans, or the mulattoes, the mestizos. See the trend I'm getting at here? In 1607, a Mexican Native American woman named Maria de Zamora was reported for witchcraft in the town of San Gabriel. So in 1607, this was before Santa Fe was even founded, there was San Juan, where Oñate was headquartered. They had a sister city on the other side of the river called San Gabriel. So this is where that happened at. So when she was brought before the court, she denied it, saying she was just doing things that she learned from Mexico. and then she got sentenced to excommunication. She wasn't allowed to enter San Gabriel anymore, and she was also not allowed to leave New Mexico so they could keep an eye on her. Then in 1626, 2 Native American women were denounced before Fray Alonso de Benavides for practicing witchcraft and sorcery. Beatriz de Los Angeles, who was said to be talented and intelligent, and her daughter Juana de la Cruz, who was a mestizo, her father a Spaniard named Juan de la Cruz. So they were accused of witchcraft in 1626, and then 5 years later, in 1631, they reopened the case. It was said that Beatriz practiced her black magic on 2 natives and killed them. She was also accused of putting a spell on her husband after she got in a fight with him. She put something in his atole and poisoned him. He died, but not before telling the people what she did, that she was a witch. An evil and murderous one at that. Her daughter Juana was accused of sorcery by a man who she had an affair with. After a fight with him, she gave him milk and cream, which killed him. She was even accused of the evil eye and making children fall ill. She even was accused of killing 1 child. It was believed that both women could travel vast distances in an egg. The friar that was in charge of this case didn't believe it. He believed that it was just superstition, so he dismissed the case, and they were never brought to trial. Then in 1629, a man named Luis de Rivera, a native of Sevilla, Spain, and settler of New Mexico, confessed to making a pact with the devil. He said a black slave taught him this demonology. The black slave was said to have a tattoo under his foot that signified reverence to the demon. It was said revering the devil made him successful in everything. This black slave also had a black book. The book had all kinds of drawings of demons, and if Luis signed it in his blood, the demon would never leave him and it would make him prosper in life. He also learned how to use herbs and spells from the Native American women that was able to let him control the desires of women, love spells. So this case came before the Inquisitor in 1630. Rivera denied it, saying that he prayed the Holy Mary and went to church every day, but they convicted him of heretic blasphemy, which is both heresy and blasphemy. Heresy because of the love spells using the herbs, and blasphemy because he signed his name in blood in that book. Then in 1751, a Spanish widow from Sandia named Barbara Garcia was accused of witchcraft. She was said to have an affair with a married man, and using his hair, she put a love spell on him. Then you had the Abiquiu witch trials in the 1760s, which pretty much marked the end to the witchcraft days. Fray Juan José de Toledo, who was the one that handled the Abiquiu witch trials, wrote this. Check out what he said. He said, "In the year 1764, some women possessed by the devil broke loose in this kingdom." I'll tell about the Abiquiu witch trials on another video because it's a long story and too detailed to tell. But in all, 12 people were accused of witchcraft and 5 young women had serious exorcisms done to them. Anyway, I just wanted to kind of give you a history of the origin of witchcraft in New Mexico. In the 1800s, the Inquisition was more concerned with literature and Enlightenment books that were coming to Spain. They didn't care more about the witchcraft anymore. They were trying to keep that stuff out. They were trying to keep the books and stuff out. They were burning books, and they were trying to keep anything that wasn't Catholic out of Spain. In 1821, the Mexican government took control of New Mexico. Then with the U.S. occupation, witchcraft was put more into the category of folklore and legend. And that's where they mostly remain today. I hope you learned something new. This is Tragedy. Thank you for watching. I'm out.